America's top billionaires selling over $9 billion worth of stock just this year. Topping the list is the Walton family, selling $4.5 billion worth of Walmart shares. They have sold over $25 billion of stock since 2016. That's to stay under their pledged ownership cap as Walmart buys back those shares. Now, most of the biggest sales are in tech. Joe Gebbia, the billionaire co-founder of Airbnb, cashing in nearly $900 million worth of shares. Those are up over 50% this year. Oracle stock is up 35% this year. That's made Larry Ellison $38 billion richer, and he's got a little bit more spending money, selling $848 million worth of stock as part of his options exercises. Oracle CEO Safra Catz also selling $470 million, also with her options exercises. Salesforce CEO Mark Benioff, the CEO of Palo Alto Networks, and 3 board members of NVIDIA, also big sellers. Moderna CEO Stefan Bancel selling over $300 million of stock in the first half. That's after unloading about $400 million last year. And finally, Josh Harris selling about $210 million worth of Apollo stock. That's going to help pay for the Washington Commanders.
Clear there are many reasons why insiders sell stock in their companies. Diversification, personal finance needs, Miami personal income tax, perhaps, in this case. It is not necessarily an indication of the top, but it is interesting to note that the last time we saw Bezos, in particular, sell significant shares in Amazon, that was in 2021, just ahead of that 2022 downturn, a year in which the NASDAQ fell more than 30%. Back then, we were at a similar moment. Stocks were hitting fresh record highs, tech valuations had the pandemic and digital transformation winds at their back. It would not last.
The top stories. Michael Saylor is selling nearly $216 million worth of shares in MicroStrategy. This filing from yesterday shows the 315,000 shares were acquired by stock options. A MicroStrategy spokesperson did not get back to us right away, but during the company's Q3 earnings call, Saylor was asked about his intentions to exercise his stock options.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And you know I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you join the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And we have the big corporation CEOs selling stocks before the crash. And guys, we know we've seen this movie before. Jeff Bezos, Elon, Zuckerberg, Jamie Dimon, Michael Saylor, and the names go on and on. And we know this crash is going to be way worse than 2008. But these big banks and big corporations are still going to be standing. They are definitely going to be prepared. Just like the C word, guys. Everybody fell by the wayside. These mom and pops. But the big corporations were standing, getting all the money. Like I stated, we've seen this movie before. And we have a big financial week this week, guys. But no one is going to be paying attention to Jerome Powell because of the distractions. We have the BOJ, we have the Fed, we have the Bank of England. But guess what we also have? March Madness, the NVIDIA conference. And that's what the mainstream media is going to send everybody. Instead of the masses focusing on the economy and what's going on with the money. But they're definitely going to start focusing because they're about to see their 401ks and pensions take a beating. But we have the BOJ decision on Monday. I don't think they're going to move because it really would set a rumble through this whole global economy. I think they're going to wait till next month. But we know our Fed is not going to do a thing. And then, guys, we have the movie continue. Remember, we're in a fragmented world. And when the sheep see this, they think Ted Cruz and Nick Saban are trying to do a good thing. But, guys, we know when we see a politician, something's not right. And we already know what's not right. But when you're looking at college football, NIL, the transfer portal, I don't know a lot about it because I haven't studied it. But I do have financial common sense. And these college players are making billions and billions of dollars for these schools. We know Nick Saban has made over $150 million for his career, while his actual players can't even afford to eat. And they try to act like they can't fix the issue when you have some of the greatest minds on these college campuses. Easy fix they can easily do is give the kids about $500 a week. The rest go inside of a trust. When they get 21 or 25, it gets released to them. But like I stated, you have financial professors on the campus, so you don't have any excuse. But we know college sports is another form of slavery, because we don't talk about all the kids that didn't make it and just fell out the system. And we know that's about 95%. But to see Ted Cruz up there trying to act like he's there to fix a problem, we know is nothing but the Hegelian dialectic. Remember, guys, football is the only sport they can't take global. So you have to create chaos. And we know the NWO creates the problem, wait for the reaction, and run in with the solution. And remember, the crypto teacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon planning his first stock sale since taking over as CEO nearly 2 decades ago. Our Leslie Picker with the details. So this came in a filing, Leslie.
It did. You see that slide there, down about 2.7% right now. JP Morgan announcing in that SEC filing that its chairman and CEO Jamie Dimon intends to sell 1 million shares beginning in 2024. At today's levels, that amounts to roughly $140 million and around 9% of his beneficial ownership, when including unvested performance share units and stock appreciation rights. As you mentioned, Sarah, this is Dimon's first such stock sale since he took over as CEO. In the filing, JP Morgan said, quote, Mr. Dimon continues to believe the company's prospects are very strong and his stake in the company will remain very significant.
Talk about Facebook. I want to talk about Meta. Zuckerberg selling stock. First time I think in about 2 years. What's the takeaway?
Yes, it is the first time that kind of Zuckerberg Inc. has sold Meta shares since November of 2021.
It's going to be a busy week next week, so let's get right to it. We start with Monday, and a big day for NVIDIA.
Yeah, NVIDIA is holding its Developers Day, developers event, really. It's called NVIDIA GTC, and it runs Monday through Thursday. And Jensen Huang, the CEO, is really under pressure in some ways to deliver and really tell everyone what else is next. And this is a stock that's performed incredibly well, obviously.
Big point, too. We should point out these past developer days haven't moved the needle, but of course, AI wasn't necessarily the elephant in the room like it is. We get some big rate decisions next week. Let's start in Japan.
Japan, BOJ on Tuesday. If you believe GG News Agency, the Bank of Japan is getting ready to end its negative interest rate policy, but as you pointed out, we've had a lot of these false head fakes before.
Meanwhile, on Wednesday, we will get that big decision out of the U.S. policymakers here. No change is expected, but we are expected to get some insight into maybe what they do going forward.
Right, and updated economic projections as well on GDP, on inflation, and on where rates will be.
We also get a decision out of the Bank of England.
Yeah, Bank of England comes out on Thursday, so we'll be covering that at 7 in the morning.
You just retired from a amazingly and historically significant coaching career. How much did the current chaos and state of the law contribute to your decision to retire now?
Well, all the things that I believed in for all these years, 50 years of coaching, no longer exist in college athletics. So it's always about developing players. It was always about helping people be more successful in life. My wife even said to me, we'd have all the recruits over on Sunday with their parents for breakfast, and she would always meet with the mothers and talk about how she was going to help and impact their sons and how they would be well taken care of. And she came to me, like right before I retired and said, why are we doing this? And I said, what do you mean? She said, all they care about is how much you're going to pay them. They don't care about how you're going to develop them, which is all what we've always done. So why are we doing this? So, to me,
going to a different economy, and we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology, and I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
very much a traditionalist. I like staying with the dollar. You know that from when I was there. It's make the dollar the choice. I hate when countries go off the dollar. I would not allow countries to go off the dollar, because when we lose that standard, that will be like losing a revolutionary war. That will be a hit to our country, just like losing a war. And we can't let that happen. And too many countries now are fighting to get off the dollar. And
Cryptoteacher and the new World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get home stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, you know I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. You know I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. Robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID 33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.